valuable shares are. Do you guys understand how much $1 million is? Has anyone actually seen $1 million? You've seen $1 million? Impressive?
Yeah.
Right? $1 million is an 8-foot-long folding table stacked with $20 bills 2 feet high and 8 feet wide. Y'all don't want it. Y'all don't want it bad enough. Guys, that is my part for the day. I am excited to be working with you guys. We have another 1 week and 3 days for this month. We gotta rock it and we gotta roll it. Brad's coming tomorrow. We start brand new and fresh on Monday. We gotta come back and show him that we're gonna make him proud, okay? Alright, we gotta get ready. How we got Brandon Okay, so anybody that's made a sale, put their name on a piece of business, activate their code, get your butts up here, and let's have some recognition. Let's do it. Let's go. Riley, get up here. Doesn't feel good, does it? I got it. What business we put our name on this week?
I got 2 new recruits.
Yeah! Let's go.
One right there. Games, the other one right there. Black. And yeah, I'm super excited for him.
Perfect. Come on. Natalie. Alright, what did we write our name on?
We got one more IBA this week, direct. We got actually put the numbers this week. So I'm
Yes,
really
you
excited.
did.
That's
Go.
excited.
Yeah. Alright. Come on. Dimitri.
Yeah, we
Alright, what did we write this week?
Well, I closed some investments for 7,000, and I did a life hack, the team, of course,
Right there. There we go.
I did the life hack and one personal recruitment and one two.
There we go. Jordan, come on up, man. Alright, what did we put our name on this week?
One life hack. And I got about 3 pending right now, so should go through.
There we go. What about our little lady, our new recruit?
Kristen?
That's yeah.
That's what's Rylan.
That's Ryan.
That's right.
They're just friends.
Yeah. There we go. Grab some. Yes. There we go. All right, Tracy, come on down.
How are you?
All right, what did we write this week? There we go. Yes. There we go. Brandon Bird, what have you done today? Or this week? What have we done this week? Okay, so we got 2 investments, 1 life wrap, 1 personal recruit, we got a baby shower. Here, would you like to grab yourself a piece of chocolate? I get a little share a little bit. Okay. Hold on, stay steady. Okay, now call my name. What did we do this week? Oh, Lisa, help me out here. Do you know what my daily blast was?
2 apps and 1 recruit.
2 apps, 1 recruit, a crap ton of training. We got like 3 people without IBAs that's been coming in. Wait, 1 recruit? That's personal, correct?
Personal.
That's personal, okay. So you guys know I don't do much personal. I do a crap ton of team. We're looking at whole. Okay, so we got 1, we got 2, we have 3, we have 4, we have 5 recruits this week.
That's awesome.
Okay, we have 5 recruits this week. We have 2 apps in. That was personal at least, right? And then I know you did a couple of apps as well. That's also team. But I take more credit for the recruits than the apps. And last but certainly not least, yeah, we have about 3 people that don't have IBA signed in, right? Typical broke millennials. But they're working like they're broke though. They're working like they're broke. So we're Cindy, pay attention. 5, 2, 3, and 4. Next year. We got Johnny!
I got in trouble last week today going how the way I closed. This week I did disability, $133 a week. We got back, moved 50,000. It's actually some stuff that we had happen this week, and I was like, this is really good. We worked on it. So I need help from the Natalie, please. Ready first. So this one, come up here. So this Wednesday what happened was, I'm just kind of like talk for a little while. So this Wednesday we all got together as a team. We made a bunch of us got together. We made a bunch of calls. So we just like, you know what? We want to make sure that we're moving in the right direction. A lot of times we do it. Okay, good. Okay. I know when I got started, a lot of times I was like, okay, what is what's working primarily? What does it mean, to make calls for an hour or 2 hours? What does that actually look like? So when I got started, I'd make like 5 calls in an hour. I'm like, that's good. I'm working. I'm down people. This is good. I'm booking appointments. But then I would see other people that I got started. They would make like 60 calls in an hour, 70 calls an hour. I'm like, oh my goodness, 5 calls is not that many calls. It's just not it anymore. So I wanted to make sure, we got one thing we had, we got new people growing, we got a new team happening, all that kind of stuff too. So I want to make sure we get together. I'm like, okay, we're going to establish what work is. I want to have a good culture, a good company culture. Anybody like working in a good culture? Yeah. So I want to have a good culture where we're a team, where we have fun, where we recognition, but we also win, we perform, we work, we get the job done too. I want to have a culture where when we show up to work, everyone knows we're showing up to work because we're all moving for our future. We're all wanting to hit our goals and accomplish our goals and dreams. So Wednesday we all got together. We were there for maybe 2.5 hours in total. But in between, what we did, I showed up at 9:20. Everyone showed up around 9:20. We kind of laid out this is what it's going to look like. And then about 9:30 we started calling. What we did is we would call for about 15 minutes or so. And then we take about a 5-minute break. And then we would, just kind of debrief a little bit over the calls, talk about what happened. If you got questions, what do I call here? What do you say here? I was in there making calls with everybody too. So then during the 5-minute break, we just take a break and then we'd start again, right? And we had fun. We had little chocolate bars and stuff. We had a little cap gun we'd blow off every time we were starting calls or ending, so it was scared everybody every time. But I want Brandon to talk because, I just want to take a couple minutes. What did you get out of Wednesday? What did you learn? What did you find about doing that?
So what we learned was actually what it looks like to be, instead of just walking around on your treadmill, you're actually running, doing a sprint, and actually going through what it looks like to book for your business. To actually fill up your calendar, get rid of that white space that doesn't feed your family. That's what we learned. So within that about an hour and a half, we booked 36 appointments.
Wow.
Actually what it looks like to pound through. And then personally booked 3, and in my team we booked 11 because I'm our field trainer here. So if we can book 11 appointments for a week in an hour and a half, that's why we have 25 KTs this week. That's what we're looking at.
And that's also just only appointments that was booked within that hour and a half. All the calls that came from that data point, we actually ended up with 48 in total.
Crazy.
How many calls did you make in that period of time?
27 calls.
20 calls, 27 calls. And you booked how many appointments?
And booked 3 appointments and then 11 into my hierarchy here.
Yeah. But 27 calls are your personal calls, right?
Yes, personal.
So in an hour, maybe you did or not, in an hour and a half, because that wasn't like texting, you were actually calling people? Okay. Did you do, have you ever done 27 calls in an hour and a half? Oh, you weren't there for a while, right?
No, for
45 minutes.
Yeah, maybe a little procedure.
Yeah, so, anyways. Have you ever made 27 calls in 45 minutes before?
Never.
I can do that.
No, well, that's why I wasn't booking, appointments in an hour.
Yeah, it's a condensing time frame. The reason between you're here and your success is over here, everyone thinks, oh, it's all this personal development, oh, it's all this growth, it's all this learning, it's all this education I gotta do. No, the only thing between here and here is time. That's it. If you condense the time frame, that's what we say, it's like if what you're trying to do here is people work 40 years in a career. We're condensing that time frame into 5 years. So you gotta take 40 years of work and put it into 5 years. You're taking that time frame out. So you make 27 calls in 45 minutes versus 27 calls over a whole day. Yeah, in a lot of cases, right? So,
well, that's exactly it. 100%. Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Let's just capitalize on those 11 KTs.
Yeah, that's it.
There you go.
Thanks, Natalie, can you help, please? Yes. So come on, Brandon. Same question. You were the top booker in that hour and a half, so good job, congratulations, well done. She booked 8. She booked 8 appointments in that hour and a half. What did you get out of that?
One, I don't have any excuse now. Everyone knows I can do 8 in an hour and a half, so I'm always gonna do 8 in an hour and a half, right? So that was really good, just to know that that's my standard. I gotta beat it every single time now. No more excuses, and also I'm reading now fanatical prospecting. And they say all these excuses like, it's not the golden hour, they're not going to answer the phone right now. None of those excuses matter. I do not know who would answer the phone between 9 and 11. No clue, but apparently they do, so there's no excuses. I just want to be calling every single day, any hour, And booking that time, just like 2 hours of your day, just to go for it, and then the rest of the day knowing that, yeah, I reached my goals, I can do more now. One more call, so it was good. I like this time.
What was it like? Most of your calls you do them by yourself, you always do them in a group, or how do you make your calls before?
I did it by myself, to be honest with you. I would always just walk around and go around people and everything, but now that we did it all together, that environment was very call center / Wall Street kind of thing going on. I like that.
Why did it help you make more calls? Why do you think?
Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah. Okay.
It was good. The person next to you, they're working, you gotta work too, right? You guys are all slacking off, you guys are all gonna slack off. So it was really good. I honestly, personally would love it if everyone got together every day, just for like a week and see what we could do. Just for the last week of August, just see what we can do, so we can talk about that.
I think you got a good idea. You can lead that. Okay, there you go. You're doing it. Okay, good. Alex, why don't you come up here and talk a little bit here? Because he thinks Donnie and Alex. From you. So he and I, we kind of get there, and I'm like, okay, we're going to make calls. He's like, I'm not prepared for this. I don't know what's going on. Grab your phone, start calling people. Don't worry about it. And that was it. How much training did you do? That's all the training I did with him. Just here's the script. Say this. Don't say this. Call. So you booked 2. How many calls, how many people did you end up talking about to?
10 people.
10 people? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing car sales right now too, right? So that's a prospecting game too, right? So talking to lots of people, everyone you talk to in car sales, they close, right?
Nope.
No, same thing here, right? Yep. So 10 people, 2 appointments, that's just what it is. That's my numbers too when I call. 1 out of every 5 I book, something like that. So what did you get out of, kind of getting, I know you're new, kind of work through the licensing process, what did you get out of Wednesday?
Call more, screw up more, learn more. You screw up so many times on one thing, you'll end up not screwing up on anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good point. Because, you can grab some in. Thank you, appreciate that. That's the biggest piece. A lot of people are so afraid of making a mistake, screwing up, doing something wrong, that they never try at it. I remember Bobby Buisson, the top runner in Primerica right now, he said, before you're great, you gotta be good, before you're good, you gotta be bad, before you're bad, you gotta try. And that's it, you just gotta try, you just gotta do it. You're gonna make the calls. It doesn't matter how many times you practice. You can practice a role play, practice in front of the mirror, record yourself, do a video of making a call until you pick up the phone, you make the call, you're gonna screw up anyways, right? So you just gotta keep doing it more, keep going. So before I end up here, Dude, why don't you come finish us off here? And what you got? I can do a good one, man. So, what'd you get on Wednesday? Doesn't matter.
what did I get out of Wednesday? It's great, right? I mean, you got to make calls to book appointments, right? But it's a matter of a lot of the time, where do I get the calls to make? When I was there, I was calling resumes. I sat down with Jonathan. He was giving me lists of people to call. Real estate agents, car salesmen, people that have their number out, people that you need to call. So on top of having the calls to make, you need to have a list to call. So you need to spend that time on the off hours getting those numbers to call, and it's got to be good, qualified numbers if you're in the right market, hopefully. But a lot of times it's not, right? So then it goes back to just hitting the numbers in as many as you can. And when you're young millennials, so many people, so many friends that you can call, a lot of people that you think, you know, I haven't talked to them in a long time, maybe they don't want to talk to me. A lot of the times that's not the case, because I'm looking around and it's a lot of really nice, pleasant faces here, people that I want to talk to, I'm sure they do too. You know, it's just a matter of picking up the phone, making the calls, going through the numbers, and having people calling. That's really what it comes down to on the list, right? And then if anyone needs help on that list, we have the best in probably Primerica here at Chalk West. We'd help you build an amazing list. On top of the list people to contact, you could even have just a call list where the night before you're going in with 30 names, so you're prepared. So like Natalie said, if we're doing that all week, you come in every day with 30 names. You'll start hitting those 30 names. By the time you get to the end of those 30 names, I guarantee you'll have a whole bunch more people to call because you'll be on a roll, right? And it just comes natural after that. You know, with success follows success. So, it was awesome.
How many calls did you make that day?
I made 25 calls. I showed up a little bit later. I made 25 calls.
How long were you there? 45 minutes, an hour?
45 minutes. 45 minutes. Yeah. I mean, I booked 3 appointments.
Yeah.
Some really good ones, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them on next week.
So the 27 calls.
Yeah.
When was the last time you 27 calls?
Oh,
in
man.
A day or 3 hours?
When I first started, I had a lot of call reluctance, and I didn't really want to call my market, and I kind of burned through a lot of them. And then I started calling resumes, and I worked with Jacques for probably hours trying to learn the script and how to talk to people and how to overcome objections. And then I stopped doing it for a while, and I don't know why. I really don't. Maybe it's because when you're cold calling, a lot of the time the success isn't there every time, so you get discouraged, and that's what will kill you in the business, being discouraged. So it was probably a month or 2 since I made that many calls.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good, man. The reason I'm very good, you know, this guy, you know, he's got some arms on him, right?
Thanks.
You know, he's got that muscle, but he's got to build that prospecting muscle, right?
Yeah.
So prospecting is a muscle you got to build, just like you got to build any other muscle. You start off, you're not going to say, I'm going to make 100 calls today. It's just unlikely going to happen. It can possibly happen. It's unlikely to happen if you don't have that muscle built. Start off with 20, and build to 30 and 50, you know, in a period of time. So thanks, man. Okay. Yeah, that's what I think is that you got to build, keep building that muscle. I mean, I think in you know, when Brad and Jerry talk about block scheduling their time, they do it 9 to noon. They do that 3 hours. You get 100 calls in 3 hours, no problem. If you're focused on doing that. But I agree with Duke. It's coming in with a list of people, so you're ready to go. You don't roll in at your call time, whatever it is, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever, 1 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night because you're part-time, whatever. You don't roll into your call time and be like, okay, I got an hour set up for calls, I'm going to take 45 minutes and get my list together, and I'll 15 minutes to call. It doesn't work like that. You get everything ready beforehand, so that hour you can just dial and hit the phone and get stuff hooked up, okay? So a couple things, one thing I want to go over here is, so I guess on that, kind of plugging that. We're probably going to do that every couple weeks just to make sure, help Natalie out, keep that up. Yeah.
And, I mean, in case you missed it, the magic was in the fact that you weren't by yourself. Because most people, even if you had the same 27 calls, you won't make them in that period of time, and there isn't the same urgency. So that was really the magic. I love what Natalie said. Well, everybody else is doing this. You have no choice. So we do have an office here, just in case you're wondering, that is open Monday to pretty much Sunday, right? And so you can do the same thing if you're not out in the valley. I would suggest sometimes maybe you don't, but I'm just saying, you could do the same thing with a group of people. If you're not making your calls on your own, you need to buddy up.
Absolutely. It makes a huge difference. I mean, because everyone who's there making calls, who was uncomfortable making calls? Raise your hand. Who's uncomfortable making calls? Yes. I was extremely uncomfortable. Even that day, I was uncomfortable making calls. That's why I had my list. I'm like, freaking you want to make calls. That was it. And so that's why I set the 15-minute calls, 5-minute breaks. We won't bother me 15 minutes. It's like focus, because I hate doing it. And during that break, we do it. But that's just like, that's what you do. You just got to do it. You got to go up, show up, and make that happen. I had follow-ups. I booked some interviews with people I've been following up with. One person I've been following up with. One person I met her, she came up to an op, for this follow-up. She came up to an op 3 years ago, and I kept staying in touch with her. I want to do it, and then I called her. I'm like, how's it going? She said, And you think after 3 years of bugging somebody, they'd be pissed off you call. She's like, oh, I'm so glad you called. I want to meet. So let's get together. I'm ready to get started with you. I'm like, okay, great. Let's meet. I think I'll have time to meet you. You know, and did that up. Another person for follow up for a client again. Follow up for a couple of years, and they're happy to meet. They're like, yeah, let's get together. I've been thinking about you. Want to do this? That was great. And another person just it was just a straight cold call. Never talked to him before, and booked him out out for an interview next week, right? So just like, that's just, you just gotta make the calls and do it, this stuff happens. But what I want to talk about is, one thing I want to share is, I've always liked knowing exactly what I gotta do to get where I need to go, okay? Does anyone else like that? Like, you know exactly what it is? Okay, I tell this joke sometimes when I do the op, but it's true. I worked at a restaurant. The restaurant was like a, mid-level restaurant, and about a desert plant with spines on it. I'm not going to say the name of the restaurant though, but that's the one. And so I would work there, and so I was like, okay, what do I got to do to get promoted? I was helping kind of the back, and like, I want to start bartending. What do I got to do? And so the manager at the time said, okay, well, you just got to show up early, stay late, do your job, learn a few drinks, and you can learn this stuff, and you'll get promoted. So I'm like, okay. So I showed up early to all my shifts. I always stayed late. I even showed up on shifts I got called in. I'm like, okay, I just came to went to call in. I learned a whole lot. I even learned like half the menu in like a week. I made all the drinks for them and stuff too, but I was never getting promoted. Did that ever happen to anybody? Okay. So at this restaurant, it's about a few weeks later, about 3-4 weeks later, I'm doing this, keep doing this, and I see other people getting promoted. This one girl got promoted, she couldn't even see over the bar. Like, she wore like heels like that high to get over the bar. I think it's stupid. And so I asked him, I'm like, why are these people getting promoted and I'm not getting promoted? He's like, okay, I'll tell you after the shift. So after the shift happened, I asked him again, he's like, okay, here's the truth. That girl, you know that girl? I'm like, yeah, she's sleeping with that manager, and that girl's sleeping with that manager, and that guy's sleeping with her, and that's why they got promoted. I'm like, here's my 2 weeks, I'm done. I'm not, my manager's a little bit hot, so. Just kidding. Shoot, this is on video. Yeah. So anyways. Okay, but I want to know what I gotta do, because like part is like, okay, if I gotta know what I gotta do, I'll do that work. Doesn't matter what it is, I'll do. For me, it's like, as long if I know that prize at the end, I'll do the work. Whatever I gotta do, I'll do it. Okay. So this, I'm going to show you guys. I looked at, okay, what do I got to do to be an RVP, define an RVP, and promote RVPs? Okay. So these are the numbers for that. So I'm going to look at we're going to look at warm market first. So Nick, what does warm market mean?
Warm market means someone that you already have a relationship with, likes you, trusts you, talks to you on a regular basis, kind of thing, mom, dad, friends, sisters, brothers.
Yeah, well, even that too. Expensive for like old school friends, old colleagues, all that kind of stuff. So that if you say, "Hey, I'm Nick," they kind of like, yeah, totally, absolutely, awesome, man. Thanks. So that's warm market, all right. So what the company says is the standard is for every one RVP, you need to get. They said you get one RVP out of every 50 licenses. Okay, so that's what I'm basing everything off. Okay, I want to get an RVP. Right? Who wants to be RVP? Alright, who wants to promote RVPs once you are RVP? Right? So that's what, if this is what the company says the numbers are, that's what I gotta focus on. I gotta get 50 licenses to get one RVP. Does that make sense? Okay. So, in the warm market, we're gonna go here. So we're gonna say you still need 50 licenses. You need 50 licenses whether warm, or 50 licenses whether cold. I'm gonna do cold after. I'll do it this way. So now, what do I have to get? Now, what do I have to do to get licensed? I have to get a recruit, right? Right? You have to get recruits until you get licensed. So now, does every person you recruit get licensed?
No.
No, of course not. In the warm market, it's roughly about 40%. All these numbers go 40% here, just roughly. Some are better, some are worse in the warm market. So to get 50 licenses, sorry, I don't want to explain this. It's math, but 50 is 40% of, so, and that of is 125. I got it all written down. 25 recruits. That means you have to get 125 recruits. You have to recruit 125 people to get 50 licenses. Let me try this. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah. You recruit 125 people. Not everyone's going to get licensed. That's just the nature of the beast. 25, 50 are going to get licensed. Now, every person you sit down with, do they become a recruit, or do some people say, no, I'm not interested?
No.
Some say, no, not interested, right? So again, that's 40%. So what that means is you have to do 312 appointments. Okay?
Like ribs.
Yeah, RIPS, yeah. Yeah, RIPS, KTs, recruit custom check too, right? So 312 appointments is what you have to do. All right, everyone following me? Okay, makes sense? All right, because sometimes I get confused on this, so I just, you don't get it, just come on, all right? All right, so again, 40%. Now, everybody that you get the book. So this is licensed recruits appointments. Now, every person that you call, so every person you call for appointment, do they, and then they say, yeah, I'm going to meet you. Does everyone show up? Does everyone actually stick to the appointment, or does some people reschedule or cancel or not show up, ghost you, anything like that? Has ever happened? Ever happened? Yeah. Okay. So again, that's 40%. So what that means is, with my magic chart, that works out to 781. You have to book 781 appointments. In order to do 312, in order to get 125 recruits, in order to get 50 licenses, in the Moore market to get 1 RVP. Okay? Is everyone able to track this? Make sense? Makes sense, Dad? Makes sense? Okay. So again, you sure? So 40% again, because everybody that you call, is every person that you call, do they book?
No.
Every person you say, hi, cheers, book an appointment, do they all book? No, of course not, right? So you've got to make, again, it's about 40% strictly warm market. You've got to make 1,953 calls in the warm market to get 1 RVP. So you call 1,953 people, you're going to book 781, you're going to do 312, you're going to recruit 125, you're going to get 50 licenses, you're going to get 1 RVP. Okay? So some people are like, dang, that's a lot of work. I don't care. That's what I got to do to make it happen, right? I want to know what that work is. Anybody agree with that? If you could make, I break it down. Say if you go RVP, the average RVP makes $120,000 a year. Okay? So if you knew you have to call 1,953 people to make $120,000 a year, would you do it?
Yes.
Okay. How long are you going to take to do it? As quick as possible. Whatever, right? Who cares? Again, you want to take time out of the equation. This works better if you do it in 6 months, versus 6 years, right? That makes sense, right? You got pressure coming in and it blows up, right? So that's what happens. So that's for 1 RVP, 1,953 calls in the warm market. Okay?
So that looks like a lot of calls, but 6 months, 180 days, so that's 10 calls a day.
I'm going to break that down. So break that road.
So I was going to say that too. Now, John, before you go into cold, just so that people have an idea, or maybe you can do that after we'll do it. When you're doing 1,953 calls, so you get 781, 312, 125, 50 licenses, what does your income look like around that? Your
RVP is 125.
Yes, that's for you to produce an RVP. What is you as a booker? How much can you expect income?
I don't know.
Maybe Lisa?
Well, it depends. Everybody's different. My Lynn, her second year, made $68,000. Made money her first year. Ann Anson made $37,000 her first year in this business. Your story might be different, right? That wasn't my story.
Yeah.
But my story, if I say my story, you go, oh, well, it's not, the possibility is that you can come in here and you could make $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 your first year. So everybody's different. This is designed that you make money along the way.
I mean, I look at it, I agree, but I look at it this way too. If I made $0 for the whole 6 months for me to get there, and I'll put all that work in 6 months or 3 months, and I made $0 in that period of time, or you're gonna say this, say I made $0 for the first 18 months, okay? Because I could work my 6 months to put this together, and then I had 12 months after that full year, and then I got a check for $120,000, that's still worth it. 18 months of work and just get a check for $120,000. That's awesome, right? So I don't know the exact number, but for this exercise, it doesn't matter. Okay. So now in the coal market, okay? So, dude, what's the coal market?
Well, market people that you don't know, people that don't know you,
Yeah.
don't know your name.
Yeah. Complete stranger danger.
That's right.
Hey, they all go stranger danger all the time. So, no, I have to get the same 50 licenses. Okay, that number doesn't change at all. But in the cold market, honestly, warm market, you have a relationship, the ratios are higher. It makes sense, right? So you got a relationship. In the cold market, the ratios are roughly about 20%. So what that means is, in order to get 50 licenses, 20% of the people you recruit become licensed. So that means you've got to recruit 250 people. Okay? In the straight cold market, you recruit 250 people. Again, I'll go through this a little quicker, and then we can kind of talk about it. That means you've got to do. Why do you do right? You are man, you're a man. So 1,250 appointments. You're 20%. 6,250 booked. And 20%, 31,250 calls. Okay? So this is the difference. So in the cold market, you have to call 31,250 people in order to book 6,250 people, in order to actually do 1,250 appointments, in order to recruit 250 people, in order to get 50 licenses, to get one RVP. Okay? So obviously I'm not answering dumb questions. Which one would you rather do? But either way, I'm like, I just want to know what the numbers. If I have to do it all cold, I just want to know what the numbers are. I just want to know what it is. Tell me what I got to do, and then I'll go do it. That's it. That's all I care about.
That's obviously if you get completely cold and never work your recruits warm market.
Why are you guys stealing my thunder constantly? No more questions, you guys. Okay, no more statements. Questions are allowed to be asked. No more questions, phrases, and statements. Let's do that one.
Hey, at least they're getting it.
They're getting it, obviously. I stop really fast now.
I have a comment, but I don't want to comment.
Statement, don't worry about it.
I'm just joking about statements. I'm just joking.
No, I was the same thing he said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it really? Okay, I like that.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So obviously this is not, it doesn't have to be all person. I mean, you don't push your choice to get 50 licenses, right? You can do this all through team.
But no, absolutely. Like everybody said, now let me put it in how I was going to say it. That's it. 31,250 calls has to be made. How long did it take you to do it? I don't know, as long as you wanted to do it. Do you have to do it by yourself?
1,250 hours. If you do 25 calls per hour.
Yes. Absolutely. So, yeah. I do like 300. I remember days like I do like over like 4 hours. I do 300 calls. So I mean, I know you can do it. So, but I agree with Dimitri too. Is that you can do this by yourself, but you can also build a team to do it as well, right? So as you get that, you can start. That's where you start leveraging the efforts and building a team. It doesn't break down to be quite as much. But I want to look at the two because Art Williams said, in order to have complete financial independence, how many RVPs? Does anybody know how many RVPs Art Williams talked about?
7 to 10.
7 to 10 RVPs to become financially independent. Well, I like to make more money, so we're going to go with 10, and it's an easier multiplier. So I want to do 10 RVPs. The average RVP pays you, what he says is about $40,000 a year. $40,000 a year times 10 RVPs is $400,000 a year in pure residual income off of other people's businesses, not your own base shop, anything like that, just other people's businesses. Who wants to make $400,000 a year? Okay, who'd like to know exactly what you got to do to make $400,000 a year? Right? Not as many people. Okay, well, I appreciate that. So I appreciate the honesty. So if this is one RVP, just multiply by 10. Multiply by 10, we got what?
19,530.
550 you make. And you multiply this by 10?
312,500.
Wow. You should work in the financial industry.
Or you just added 0 to the number.
Help you out. So that's, I'm like, okay, if I get 10 RVPs, if you're strictly warm, it's going to be 19,530. If it's cold, 312,500. You're going to be somewhere in the middle, okay? It's crazy to think you're going to be only warm market, that's it. It's just not going to happen. but you're also not going to be, if you're going to move towards that, to the warm market versus the cold market. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Is everyone following that so far? Is that good? Yeah. Am I okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. He's not my dad, first of all, so you guys know. Gotta clarify that. Not yet. Okay, so now going on to what Dimitri talked about. So, cold market, 10 RVPs is about 312,000 calls you gotta make. So I said, what if it takes you 5 years? You commit 5 years to doing the business. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this business, I'm gonna make these calls, I'm gonna do this thing in 5 years and make this happen. So, 5 years, and you don't work every week, you work 48 weeks a year. Because I want you guys to have some time off, okay? And you're not working 7 days a week. You're working 5 days a week. So you can do this faster, but I'm just saying 5 years, 48 weeks, 5 days a week, okay? That works out to 260 calls per day. Okay? You can definitely do that. I've done it. I know Brad's done it. I know Lisa's done it. I know probably Bremer's done it too. You guys are making calls, maybe that's because you guys built the business. So you can do that by yourself, but I agree with Dimitri. If I can have a team of people doing it, it's that much better. So what if you build a team where you've got 5 people? If you got 5 people on your team, 260 divided by 5 is 52. Go down here. So 52 calls per day per person. Okay? Now, is that possible to do 52 calls in a day? Yeah. Brandon did 27 by himself in 45 minutes. Luke did 27 by himself in 45 minutes. So in like a couple hours, you can get the 52 calls done by having that team in place. Right? So now I'm just telling, like, how do I build a team? To make 120,000, you got to make this many calls. Are you willing to make this many calls to make 120,000? Yes. Then I move them into here. Now I show them how to help them with the next thing we're going to talk about into there. Okay? Does that make sense? Yes. So build that team, get to that. Now let's look at it the other way, the warm market. 5 years, 48 weeks, 5 days a week. That works out to 16 calls a day. Per day. Again, if you've got 5 people, that's about 3 calls per day per person. Okay? By doing it. If you're strictly warm market. Now again, you're gonna be somewhere, so you're gonna have to call somewhere, you have to be between 3 to 52 calls a day. Every person. Now the one thing too, I say, 5 years, 48 weeks, 5 days a week, weekends off. That's 5 days a week. You call 30, 40, 50 people. 5 days a week you do that. For 48 weeks. That's not easy to do. That's why it takes work. That's why we get paid to do this kind of stuff. But again, I wanted to know. Listen, I understand there'd be some people that are like, I'm not interested in that, I'm out. And that's totally fine. I'm okay with that. Because I want people that are committed to their future. I want people that are committed to making this happen. People that are committed to saying, I'll do the work, whatever it takes. I want to win. I want to do something. There was always something inside me. I know it's inside of all you guys. It doesn't matter what I got to do. I'm going to do what it takes to win, right? Anybody else like that? Doesn't matter. Just tell me what I got to do. I'm going to go win. So that's what you got to do. You can either do these 16 calls a day by yourself, between 16 calls and 260 calls a day by yourself, which you can do that. But why not start building a team? 5 people. That's not a lot of people. Again, 5 people doing a sale a week, you're making not 120,000 a year. You run a base shop, you got those 5 people in your base shop making those calls and that stuff, you're making 250,000 a year. And then you get those guys RVP plus 400,000, so you're not making 400,000, you're making 600,000, 700,000 doing that work in 5 years. 5 years, realistically, because of your base shop, what you're doing, you're going to make $250,000 from your base shop with that activity, is about 650, so 600 to 700,000 a year in 5 years. 5 years. You just got licensed. 5 years. 650,000. But every day making those calls. Every day talking to people. Every day. Not, I don't feel good today. I had a bad day. I stayed up late last night. My stomach's a little queasy. No. You get in the office and you make calls. Every day. That's it. It's not sexy. It's not fun. It's monotonous. But it works. And that's what it takes to do. So, Duke had a question. Or Duke had a statement, and he said, how do I get my numbers? I'm building my muscle, my call muscle. How do I find numbers? So I printed this off for everybody. You guys can help me. I'll just take one, pass it down here. So this is, let me grab one. Every method of prospecting known to mankind. A name and date from your recruits. Talking, give me a name. Name and date, name list of recruits. Give names. Referral letters from clients. Have your clients send out the beneficiary contact information. Your chicken list. What your chicken list means is not a bunch of chickens on your list. It means people that you're scared. People that your chicken to call. That's what the chicken list is. Calling business cards. What are some ways, Lisa, how are some ways you can get business cards?
They put them on bulletin boards at different stores. You'll find, once in a while you find a fishbowl, right? Pick them up everywhere that you see them.
Yeah, anywhere you see them.
Yeah. Coffee shops.
Do pass out a bunch of business cards the other day? He's like, they're on bulletin boards. I didn't take them. I'm like, no, that's when you
I
get
took
them.
them.
John, one more of you guys, Jordan, quickly raise your hand. How many business cards did you get from me last week?
Probably over 200.
Yeah.
How'd you get them?
RVP in there, buddy. There's an RVP in there.
I just took a picture of all the business cards on both of them.
And
you can zoom in on every single one.
Yeah.
And where'd you go to find this bulletin?
Best place to go is I noticed like if you go to I went to the tool rental place, so a place where a lot of people go to rent stuff.
Yeah.
They'll be there because they want the business and people go there to rent stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's awesome. Good job.
Leisure centers are a really good place.
Yes, anywhere. You pick a business card anywhere. Emailing resumes, calling respondents, ads in newspapers. I'm not a huge fan of ads. I've tried to run a couple ads and it's different now. Going to trade shows, picking up names and cards. I go to all the trade shows. You go to all those aisles, all got business cards, just pick them all up. Call them a few days later. Put a booth in a trade show. 3-foot rule. It means as you're walking around, you're doing your shopping, you're walking around the mall, you're doing something, people come within 3 feet, you give them a smile, you say hi, see if you can start a conversation, pick up a name and number. Calling weekly contacts, anybody part-time, pick up name tags, you know, a store where people got their name tag, get their name tag, call them later. Newspaper announcements, so newspaper announcements are like maybe a car dealership, you know, our top salesman last month was blah, blah, Alec Costello, you know, and you call them up, hey man, you're really successful, let's get together, and you can diversify, right? Helpline posters, you know, association list, so, you know, trades, yearbooks, church directors, all that kind of stuff, centers of influence, you know, accountants, or lawyers, or, you know, whatever, people, you know, coaches, teachers, work directly, we said fish bowls, for sale tags in malls, grocery stores, people, not only they have business cards on the bulletin boards, they got like, you know, free puppies, you know, and they got their name and number to call, rip that off and call that person. I don't want a puppy, but I want to, you know, help you make money. Postcards, you know, approved seminars. You do seminars. You know, at least you talk to other people doing that, but you do seminars for that. Opportunity meetings, group RSPs, and more seminars. Joining associations, other pages, spinning around. Spouse passing names to you, starting a networking group, attending seminars, attending community functions, advertising, business directory, converting family members. My 7-year-old is going to prospect and find me recruits and clients. My 2-year-old is going to bring me damn clients every week. That's what they're going to do. Because they know people I don't know, right? My kids know people I don't know. They can pass them a bit. Maybe they can't do an elevator pitch, but they can pass them a business card. They can find me people. They're going to. Earn their keep, man. I think their food is not free. It's not free for them. It's not free for me.
You really want your base shop to be up.
Wherever, man. Wherever. Your neighborhood. Your neighbors, landlords, surveys, dropping business cards off, joining your neighborhood block watch, client appreciation events, attending auctions, little mauling, just not like a bear, but like, you know, meeting people, like I said, 3-foot rule, always meet people. Prospects, all cold, you receive, so people call telemarketers. Whenever someone calls me, like Rogers, or somebody's calls, I always ask where they're from. They're like, oh, I'm from US. I'm like, oh, Toronto, oh, okay. India, okay. So, you know, letter campaigns, social gatherings, all those different stuff. There's tons of different ways to do it. What you need to do by the end of the day, you got to circle, Ian Putner has the 5 to stay alive. You got to circle all these things, but if you focus on all these things, nothing's going to happen because there's too much going on. You got to focus on 5 things. You got to look at this list, and you got to say, okay, I'm going to commit to these 5 things to find my numbers to call every day. Whatever those calls are. 10 calls, 5 calls, 30 calls, 100 calls, whatever it is. You got to find those 5 that are going to help you hit that goal, hit that number. And you got to do different stuff. You got to be creative. Creativity follows commitment. If you're committed, you're going to be creative. I got a card. You guys follow me on Instagram. I got a card from our good friends at Cardone. Morgan gave me a card. I've seen him do this before. We've talked about it. Please give me a card. I stopped by his office the other day, and he wrote me a card, gave me a little thing too. And because of that, I shared out, or I've referred to a couple of people that you can talk to. It's doing little things like that, being creative. If you drop by business, go and drop by businesses. You've got to drive, unless you guys live across the street from the office, you've got to drive from here to your home, or from your work to your home. There's a bunch of businesses along that route you take that you drive by all the time. Stop into a business or two businesses every day that you drive and just say, hey, what's up? I do this, what's going on? Most of them are going to say no, but then you keep following up. Imagine on your drive from here to your house, every business was your client. You got recruits out of that, you got investments, you got insurance. You have a big book of business then. It's every business on your route, right? Just along the road, it's all the same client. That'd be huge. So it's just about being creative doing that. Does that make sense? Yeah. Any questions with that stuff at all, though?
I was just going to say there's a lot of apps to connect with people too. Like Shaper, Opportunity, there's a few apps that you can
absolutely.
meet up.
Yeah, lots of stuff. I just got so we're doing a video next, I guess, give it a second, so, like 2 minutes, guys. Grab the big one over there and turn the next
Because that's what the conversation I'm having with my organization, the power of competing. I read in this great book that it says that do you not know in every race, that every runner must run, and they must run in a way to get the prize. Guys, so I had to compete throughout my life. Growing up in inner city Baltimore, based on statistics, I was never supposed to be standing here today. Based on statistics, I was supposed to raise my daughter as a single mom with no car with a 6-year-old child. I was supposed to allow the government to assist me in raising my daughter. I was never supposed to make it out. Based on, I had to compete with that statistic. I made a decision that I knew I would be a statistic, but I won't be a part of the one that say I'm supposed to live this life of lack and of poverty. When I got to this hotel yesterday, and I checked in my room, I'm in a beautiful suite, and I said, my God, look at Lisa M. Jones. Who would have thought that she would come out of the community she came out of and be staying in a place like this? Only in Primerica, guys. I want to talk to you about competing with those statistics. Stop settling for lack. Stop selling for poverty. Stop selling to renting your income. Being on a job for 30 or 40 years. You wouldn't tell a person to rent their home for 30 years, but it's okay to rent your income for 30 years. You have to compete with that. So I'm having a conversation with my organization about you need to win trips like this. The trip is amazing, but you have to prove to yourself that you're worthy, that you can do this. And it requires competition. You cannot settle for not having what you want. Also often, we accept dysfunctional comfort. And when you become a part of an organization, when you join this business, it is the responsibility of the leadership to make you uncomfortable. Because we look for comfort foods and comfort conversations and comfortable this and comfortable that. And that's not going to move you to greatness. Now, you didn't win this one, but we have DR coming up. The Dominican, you want to be there. You want to be a part of that, guys. It's going to be absolutely amazing. You have to compete. I joined the business, like I stated, as a single mom with a 6-year-old child. And so I had to catch buses to go to the office to attend trainings. I had to beg for money from my brother to get to builder schools. I couldn't afford the t-shirts, but I decided that I am not going to settle for that. I would never say going through of being uncomfortable, I decided to become great. And I joined this business opportunity. I started talking to people, and Andy Young coined the phrase double-digit recruiting. I sold out to double-digit recruiting. I realized that I didn't have to create my own footprints, but I had the master stepping in the footprints of those who came before me, the trailblazers who came before me. And so I learned the footprints of the great Bill Arenda. I learned the footprints of the great Larry Weidel, the great Andy Young, the great Adam Earl. I looked at the people and the fundamentals and the characteristics that they exemplified. And I decided to act like them, walk like them, talk like them, step in their footprints, because I had never built a business before. And so as a result of doing that, I was able to accomplish some success. But it didn't happen overnight, guys. I had to keep going, and I had to fight through some feelings that I was going through. I had to change as a person, because if you don't change nothing, then nothing will change. And I had to get rid of some dysfunctional comforts, and I had to get very uncomfortable to build this business and become one day a regional vice president. So you have to compete with that dysfunctional comfort that you have. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable. See, it's in your uncomfortability, it's in being uncomfortable that you are effective. And I decided that I wanted to be effective. And guys, now, I started building a business. And I ran a 100 by 100 base shop before. I run a 50 by 50, 70 by 70. I've been on great trips. I walk across stages. I spoke at the convention. All of those things. I was always so honored and so humble. Then, you know, it's amazing what can happen if you just go to work. And then all of a sudden, one day, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And in that stage 4 cancer is when I really realized who I am as a person. But it took me 4 years to recover. And so often people say to me, Lisa, I was wondering why we didn't see you for a period of time. And I had to go into a phase in my life where I had to recover from an illness. And so when I came back to the business, I remember not feeling adequate. And I want to talk to the people who say, man, I'm not at that trip, and I don't feel good about myself anymore. I did it before, but I don't know if I can rebuild it. And people start talking to me and saying she's a legend. And that thing bothered me, because it appeared that that was a person that had accomplished something at a period of time, but they were finished. And I was like, hold up, I'm not finished yet. There's still more in my belly. There's still more in me. I deserve to be on the stage and to speak, but I realized that nothing is given to you. You have to fight for it, and you have to compete for it. And I came into an environment, and thank God for the AELC, because they helped me to feel like somebody again. They loved on me even when my base shop went from 50 people showing up to 5. They loved on me, and they said, Lisa, don't forget who you are. Remember when you did this? Remember the lives you touched? Remember the messages you gave from the stage? And then I had a company, and Glenn Williams didn't look at me different. And he said, Lisa, you're awesome. You can do this. And now look, I remember sitting out there wondering if I could ever make it to the mic again. Can I ever be great again? Can I ever build a 50 by 50 base shop again? Man, I came back to a business after being gone for 4 years, and I had 5 people showing up. Lisa, can you do this again? And I want to tell you right now, guys, you can do it. Don't give up on you. Compete. Go for it. Win these trips. See, you need to be here to be among the greats. You need to listen to them. You need to walk in their footprints. You don't have to create your own. I want to encourage you not to give up. Do it again. See, I wonder when I came back, I was sitting in the back, and I said, man, I feel so inadequate. I feel like, man, I went from doing something to averaging 10 by 10. Doing 10 by 10 was a struggle for me and building a team. But I had to go back to the basics. Lisa, what did you do when you started before? You know what I did? I made sure I had 10 appointments. I sat on 10 appointments a week. So I had to go back to the basics. What else did you do, Lisa? Well, I made sure that I had guests invited to the business overview. And what else did you do? I made sure I sowed that dream with every ounce of passion in me. Man, I believe in this company with everything in me. See, they said, Lisa, we're not going to judge you based on your race, your gender, or your creed. That it's a level playing ground. And that if you go and do what's right by people 100% of the time, if you go out there and you sell a dream, sunglasses on. That's how awesome it is. I was so fired up about where I was going, and I stopped talking about where I was going. See, before I was failing because I kept looking at my circumstances. Get your eyes off of where you are right now and put your eyes on where you're going. And where I was going is so daggone bright. I know you're going to be at the next trip. I know you're going to compete, because do you not know that in every race, the runners must all run, and they must run in a way to get the prize. And the prize is here, guys. The prize is here. The prize is financial independence, and the prize is you delivering for your families. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you on the next trip.
I don't know, but you cannot, right? When you hear that, stage 4 cancer, and went on and did something great, how can you not think that you can do this, right? It's all based on action. It does not matter. She had 5 people showing up. Who has less than 5 in your personal team here today? So where can you go from here? Well, you can do exactly what she did, right? But you have to work like she worked. You have to work. The same way that she fought cancer is the same way that she's doing Primerica, right? It's not a thing. It's not a deal. It's not a something. When Lisa started, I don't know if she said that on there, but she started on the bus because she didn't have a car, right? So really, when Jock said, how much can you make? Hey, it's your story to write. But I can tell you that this thing is about making money, right? This thing is about, I forgot to put it on a slide. We could have put it on a slide. But it's like the theory of decreasing responsibility. It's called the theory of decreasing sacrifices. In the early years, efforts and sacrifices are high. In the middle here that you can't see, it says most people quit during the early tough times, right? Most don't make it. In the early years, cash flow and immediate returns are lower. Till what? It goes up, just like we talked about it. As your business and skills grow, cash flow increases. As your business and your skills grow, cash increases. Later, your efforts are rewarded and sacrifices decrease. This is where those who build it right live the dream. Pay a price for the first 3 to 5 years, but the price is not making money. Right? We want to be clear on that. The price is not that you don't make any money here. So, what do you get? You get the future. You get the rewards. You get to go to Hobbit in New Zealand, right? Like Brad's was there yesterday. You get to do whatever it is that's important to you. You get to provide for your family. You get to spend time with the people that you get to choose. That's the greatest thing about it. It's completely up to you. Listen, if Brad had a business where he was all focused on clients, he would not be there right now making 80 grand this month. It wouldn't happen, right? So how do you do it? You use the resources. I know what John went through. I forgot to ask him, I had printed the prospecting page as well. Look, this is what this is, so what do? You figure it out. We will give you the resources. There is on POL, in August, there is a Bill Arender video that I think everybody should watch. It's a 45-minute long video. It is unbelievable. He spent 45 minutes. It's in the August one. If you put in Bill Arender, it's 45 minutes long. There's only one in there. I think is on page 3 or page 4. But you should watch it. He talks about how to build this. He talks about keys. It was like old school, Mr. Brebner. It was like old school, right? I mean, Bill's one of my favorite guys, favorite speakers.
Which video? Bill Arender.
Bill Arender. I don't remember what it's called, but it's 45 minutes long.
It's on POL?
Yeah, it's on POL. It's in August. And a couple years ago, I think about 3 years ago, Mike and I were downtown. We dropped off our licensing renewal paperwork, so it was about May. We dropped off our licensing renewal paperwork and went to one of the restaurants we like downtown called Zeffirelli's. And we're sitting there, and Mike says to me, he goes, Bill Arender just walked in. And I'm like, what? And I turn around, and sure enough, here's Bill in his tracksuit with his wife. And Mike's like, we need to go over and say hi. Sure, I go over. I'm like, hey, and he, of course, knows me, and he's like, would you like to join us? Hell yeah! We take our stuff, they move our stuff over, and we spend like 2 hours with him. And his wife said to me, I mean, Bill's been in Primerica for what, 35 years? And his wife says, Carol says, oh, Bill was just saying, he misses
right? And so, was it luck? I don't know. We just needed him in that moment and he appeared, right? And so what do you do from here? I think you have to have that plan. It doesn't matter what you do if you work it, right? This is only designed that you move into this. Let's be clear. This is only designed, just like whoever said, that you move into that. So if you're up, look, I think if you're in the mindset of growing a building, everything will work for you, right? It's in the moments that you're down that people don't push through, right? It's in those moments that you think that everything is bad, that the world is crumbling. We met a couple the other night, Mike and I, and this guy asked me what we did. And I asked him what he did. And he had done wealth management and sold his practice 3 years ago. And I was like, oh, this should be fun. And he said, you know, he of course asked me, and I'm like, proudly, we're with Primerica. Oh. Yeah, I think I'm like, oh, I'm sure you've heard of us. And, you know, but I thought, of course you've heard of us, because someone else had asked me, he's like, oh, I think I've heard of them. He said, okay, private. I said, oh, no, we're a public company. We went public in April of 2010. We went public for $15 a share. Today we're a company that's at $118 a share, right? 120. But we're a company that's growing. We're a company that's moving. We're a company that's being positioned from the moment that this company started, that's designed for people like you, for people like me. So with that prospecting list, here I have some sparking interest with recruiting questions for you. What do you do in your off hours or off season? Would you be interested in a career change if the money and timing were right? Listen, it's not your job if someone says no, well, what is it? Hey, you don't have to answer all that. Would you be interested if the money and timing were right? What part did you miss? What haven't you been able to accomplish because of your job? Interesting. Are you the kind of person that dares to dream about a better life for you and your family? What do you think you'll be doing 5 years from now? See, most people, right? Time gets us all. Most people start that job just for what? It's just temporary. It's not our dream job, but we start it, and what happens? Time goes by. And time goes by fairly quickly, doesn't it? And all of a sudden, here you are, and you're like, oh man, I was only going there just for a period of time. That was my temporary gig. But they paid you a little bit more money, we got a few more bills, and we got stuck. We're comfortable. What does freedom mean to you? I hope you don't mind me saying this, but you seem to be pretty overqualified for this job. Have you thought of doing something different? What? What's the matter with you? No, don't say that. What would you be doing today if you weren't working? Ask that on a nice sunny day. Ask that on a long weekend. Well, really? No. Oh man, it's so great that you're inside here because it's air conditioned. What would you be doing today if you weren't working? I don't even know what long weekends are, barely. I know Labor Day and I know Christmas and Thanksgiving because that's around my birthday. But really, I could care less about these other holidays that everybody strives for in a working life, right? So long weekend, what are you doing on a long weekend? Oh, I'm here. Oh, you're staying home. Hell yeah. You think I want to drive in traffic with all those people up there? No way. Are you making all the money you'd like to? No. Would you like to make more money? Do you have some extra time you'd like to make some extra money with? Do you keep your ear to the ground for bigger and better opportunities? No. Really, why not? Listen, if someone says no, run! Run! Don't wait! Well, why would you say no? Like, what do you... Oh, really? Hell no! Get out of there! They told you, they answered you. You need to listen, right? Did you ever think about working in your off hours to make some extra money, maybe even double your income? Have you ever considered doing anything else? Maybe something that has more potential. Great, give me your number, and either my associate will give you a call and set up a time to get together. How hard are any of those to do? Right? You are purely asking questions. That's it, but you're sparking interest. You're throwing that out there. Understand that people aren't happy at their jobs. It really doesn't matter what most people make. They can't get out. They're stuck. Right? There's no freedom. There's no end. There's no end.
in 90 days. 90 days ago, how many of these people were with you on a Saturday morning? If you work with Jacques on his team, can you stand, please? Oh, Bandama too? You're taking Bandama too? No, you can't go! Sit down!
And the funny thing is that this is like a drop in the bucket as to who's actually here.
But, hang on, but these guys are here.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, right? You guys can sit down, thank you. I want you to see the visual, because sometimes it seems so far away, right? Sometimes it seems like, oh my God, will this ever break? Is there anybody who even wants to do anything about it? Look, these guys are sharp, they're eager, they're young. I took a picture this morning and I'm like, WTF, my picture said a few different things probably than John's friend. Hey, look, I'm like, what the hell? One side? No! Did you not see almost his whole side? Was his team, which is Renee's team. That's a big deal. That's 90 days. That's only 90 days. Let me rephrase that. That's only 90 days. It's only August. This exact same thing could be yours by the end of the year. 90 days from now. 90 days when we go to Tacoma, rather than going on that trip, if you've been around for a bit, going by yourself, no. You can have 10, 15, 20 people going with you, right? It's a choice, it's a decision. If you were happy, these are just the ones that showed up right now, right? That's a big deal. Thanks, I'm proud of you.
It was Shane Perry that made me want to do the 90-day sprint, right?
90 days.
He literally told me, Jacques, he's like, you want to know, because I asked him, I said, Shane, if there's one thing that you would do differently if you were a millennial starting out this business, what would you do? And you asked him in front of everybody. I asked him in front of everybody. That was the turning point. Was I went to Tacoma in January. That was the turning point. I got there. I remember Shane making me feel like a rock star. If you look at pictures of me there, I looked horrendous. I was not like a good looking guy. I'm still not a good looking guy. You haven't cleaned him a lot. But he said, Jacques, forget that. You're going to forget it. Don't forget this. Do a 90 days. That's all I want. That's all I want. There's my number. Talk to me 90 days. I lost his number. Or something happened. I wasn't able to call. But I talked to him at West Coast. I didn't recognize him. He recognized me. He said, Jacques, how's it going, buddy? How'd the 90-day sprint go? I said, I went number one for recruiting at my level here in Canada.
You already knew because I've been talking to him on Facebook.
You guys were talking. Yeah. And I could see, it was so weird. People don't like they consider the source of video. People say, I don't see anyone else succeed. He's in a different country, different team, has no involvement from me. I could see how excited he was. You could see the level of joy, but that specific moment in time, he did not care about the same time. He cared that. I talked to that one guy, that one kid, and look what he's got going on. And look what he's done for others.
For sure. But that's what happens with great leaders. Right? That's what happens. Is they want to empower people to give back. Right? And we just sometimes sit in our moment and we don't reach out or we don't say anything. I text and I sent her an email and I said, look, because she said, if you want personal coaching, and I sent her one and she sent me back, she said, absolutely, I love you, we're gonna work. And I'm like, I feel humbled, I feel honored, right? And so, and it's exposing because you put yourself out there. So great job, proud of you. I love that, you guys. This is totally what you can do in 90 days. See, rather than sit here and be frustrated, depressed, down, you can look at this and go, 90 days. See, that's a picture, right? 90 days from now, you do the same thing. I promise you, the same things will happen. The same things. You will find the people. Look, we need to grow our income. All right, I get a lot of pressure for that. And earlier this year, I said to Mike, I said, you know what? We don't have enough. We've got to fill our base. We're not moving enough money. We're not doing this. And all of a sudden, I said to him one day, and I was talking with my best friend Casey, which, by the way, not being on the trip does suck. It sucks worse when she sends you a picture with where are you? And with her and Rhonda Graham. And you go, but you know what? It's not that moment. That moment's gone. That was for the
last part, this is the new part. You're creating the Dominican and doing whatever you want to do. And we started attracting money again. We've started attracting newer people and different things. Why? Because I knew we had to change, right? You must do something different. The great lady who was telling me about her mom. You see, you don't know the moment, right? She said last Sunday, her mom, she went to see her mom. She couldn't see her mom on Tuesday on her birthday, so she went to see her mom. And she said, so I went to see my mom. She said, we did the whole party thing. She said, and brought her dinner. She ate so good. The next day, they called me and said she's unresponsive. She said she's been in a coma ever since. And so she starts, kind of tearing up on the phone with me and stuff, and I started talking to her. And her daughter's working a couple of jobs. Her daughter had actually tried Primerica before. I'm like, I'll come see you. I need to see you both. I need to see your addresses, and I need to do that, right? Because you don't know. I'm like, no, she needs us. She needs me. She needs Primerica. She needs me. She needs Primerica, right? As a source, as a way. These people work so hard. This woman works full-time and a part-time job. Like, they need what we do, right? I've got a policy that got issued that I've spent 4 months trying to get this issued. Listen, by the way, I am willing to, if Jacques guarantees me that he'll be there, and Brandon, I will do a half-hour class in the next week on protecting our business and policies and understanding that stuff. Okay. And Dean, because people who ask me questions, if you're not there, you don't get to ask any questions anymore.
I'm there.
I'm there.
And so, okay. We'll do that because I know that's important to you guys. And so anyway, so I have this policy, this lady who had said to me, it took a long time, the doctor's reports, everything. She gets insured, but she's rated 50%. See, people go, oh my gosh, I'm like, oh my God, you got insured, that is awesome. Because I was shocked after going through all this medical stuff that she got insured. Right? So it's in what you do. Dean, come on up for a second, because I think these things, if you use these moments that happen, because Dean went back to see a client this week, and listen, these moments are important, right? What we do for clients is huge. It is unbelievable.
Okay, so what it was a while back on a field training appointment, got these people as clients, and and the spouse, perhaps the husband, has MS. Okay, so he got approved. He got 100% rated, table 4, which is fantastic.
So if it was going to cost him $30 a month, it would now cost him $60 a month. That's what being rated 100%.
For a long time saying, I've never heard of anyone with MS actually getting approved. This is unbelievable, right? So I went back and I sat down with them, and they took their policy, everything was fine. And just a while, a week or so ago, I get a text, Dean, we need to cancel our life insurance. I went, whoa, hold on. We need to sit down and talk. Okay? So I go there and sit down with them and say, look, what's the story? What's going on? So the wife is going to school for 4 years, nursing. They've told her, don't work, the nursing program's pretty intensive, make sure you focus fully on that. So they're like, we can't afford it. I'm like, it doesn't, so when I pull in the driveway, I go into the house, and the husband's leaving as I get there. And I said, well, hold on, we need to talk all together here, right? We need to figure out what's going on. Where are you going? Well, I'm just going to pick up dinner. I'm like, okay. Come here, let's sit down, let's talk. So I said, look, you're going to pick up dinner. How much is dinner going to cost you? He said, it's going to cost me $30. I said, okay. So what they actually wanted to do is they wanted to split the policy, cancel hers, she's young and healthy, keep his, the guy that has MS, right? And I just said, look, if I do that, the money you're going to save is $21 a month. She got preferred rating for 35 years. Like, it's $21 a month. You're going to get dinner right now. It's going to cost you $30. So I said, do that one last time a month, and you've more than paid the $21 difference for your insurance, right? And they're like, they hummed and hawed. I said, look, the problem is not that you can't afford it.
That's
and
right.
she said, what do you mean? I said, if you were going to die, and you knew you were going to die in the next 6 months, would you cancel your policy today? She said, no, absolutely not. So I said, it's not that you can't afford it, it's that you don't think you're going to die. And she went, you're right. I said, well, look, we're all going to die, right? We just don't know when. She goes, you know what, you're right. So, good news with that, they kept the policy. I never even opened up my binder to get them to sign anything. I had this conversation before I ever did that. And then I said, look, you guys owe me. And they said, what do you mean? I said, look, I've come out to see you like 4 or 5 different times, doing some different things with them. I said, would any bank you know of come and do this for you? And they said no. I said, you owe me referrals. So they gave me 4 referrals yesterday. I'm going back to meet them next week because then they said, you know what? We need to start some RESPs. Our kids are getting older. I'm like, okay, so none of this is about you couldn't afford it. You didn't remember the value of the life insurance. It wasn't that you can't afford it. So I got 4 referrals. They're putting more referrals together for me. He's going to talk to people at his work on Monday to say, hey, you know what? I know a guy and he has been awesome for us. He's done everything. Every time we call him, he's there the next day. You need to sit down and talk to him. So they're putting a new referral list together for me. They gave me 4 referrals. We saved the policy, and I'm getting RESPs out of it as well. So
awesome. That was kind of a training appointment. The rep is not active right now in the business.
Yeah.
Right? So who's better off? The guy with MS who has coverage. Now we pray, they never collect. Right? Collecting from your life insurance, let me help you out, is never a good thing. Well, I paid all these years and I never collected. Yeah, you're still alive. Bonus! Right? Hello? So, just, I want to finish with this article that I read, because look, I know you come out on Saturdays because you want to win. I know you come out here because there's something inside of you where you're dying inside and you want to do something, that you're just praying, like I was when I started, that all this stuff that they said was true, right? Not just that it was for those other people, but that it was true for me, that it would happen for me, that no matter how bad I was right now, that I could get better, that it would work for me. I prayed that so long. And look, I saw my 2 brothers. One time I had my little pickup truck, and I was driving in my truck with Emily, who is Brad's youngest daughter. And I always had a picture of the ring in my truck, right? And so I had a picture of the ring there. And I had it sitting there, and she looks at me and she goes, oh, Dad has one of those. Yeah. She goes, Uncle Troy does too. Oh, well, now I'm really depressed. And she was probably about 5 or 6, and she goes, it's okay, Auntie, I know you're going to have one too. I know you are. And I'm like, really? Like, do you really believe that? She's like, yes, I know you are, because you're smart and you're pretty, and she says all these great things, and I'm like, okay, I can do this, right? By belief from wherever you have to get it. In those down moments, right? It just doesn't matter. She knew I was going to do it. She believed I was going to do it, and I was able to do it. So by belief in those moments, that it is yours, that it will happen, right? That you can do it. Because I'm telling you, as you become the person that you're meant to be, all those things change, right? All those moments, you just don't notice. You just don't notice. You don't know how good. You don't understand in that moment. But this is called overcoming your demons and reaching greatness again. It says some of these demons have scared people into living a meaningless life. That's because unless you face these suckers head on and overcome them, they will ultimately win. Their goal is to take away your happiness. So thus far, it may sound like a blog post full of nothing but bad news, but that's wrong. I've seen these demons be tamed and be the cause for certain individuals to achieve greatness. It's often these demons that are the catalyst for something magical. You could say these demons are a blessing rather than a curse. So if it's so easy, then why is everyone not battling their demons and kicking butt? I put it down to 4 things. 1 is a lack of determination. 2, a lack of being present. 3 is fear. 4 is sheer guts and hard work. So can we implement a strategy to execute on these setbacks? You bloody bet. 1 is lack of determination. Your demons are big and ugly and probably very hairy. Might be anything. Might be making friends, right? Might be talking. Might be getting in front of people. Might be just your sheer belief inside that you can do this, that you can be somebody. That you're meant to be great. That you're meant to not sit where you're at. then it's okay for you to win. The sheer sight of them is enough to make anyone want to give up and settle for a life of mediocrity. That's why when you look at this beautiful planet, you see so many people doing exactly that. We meet them every day. These people settle for living a small life full of no dreams, no goals, no vision to change the world. Determination requires you to be unwavering in your focus. To be determined is to believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself, the size of your demons shrink and they suddenly become manageable. But for you to believe in yourself, you have to love yourself first. So you have to believe in yourself, and you know that belief can only come from loving yourself. Are you completely delusional? Definitely not. He says, I've studied all of the greats, and that is the differentiating factor. The people who conquer their demons believe in themselves and love themselves at the same time. This gives them the mindset to stay determined. You think when Nelson Mandela was stuck in jail and knew that he may never get out, that he just sat there and lived every day with his demons? No way. He sat there every day with a big fat smile because he knew that one day he would show them his boss. Same thing you can do, right? He waited most of his life to spend the last few years being the example for what believing in yourself and having love for yourself first and then for everyone around us can do. It's the way he conquered his demons that is the reason none of us will ever forget the man. 2 is the lack of being present. We must be present in the moment. The frustrating thing is that these demons, if we're not fully present, we can't see them. They hide in a dark corner somewhere and secretly sabotage us from getting our dream. Every now and then, they poke their ugly red fiery head out from the darkness and hurt us in a big way. So it's a reason that this quote is so famous. The average person dies at 25 but is buried at 75. Don't be the person that dies at 25 and lives the next 50 years hoping for the world to give them the stuff for free, like a pension, retirement, the lottery, or a holiday to escape the madness. You can't escape them, you can only conquer them. So the present is how you get a chance to look at your demons in the eye and smile at them like Nelson Mandela did. Number 3 is fear. What's holding you back from conquering your demons is fear. It's that F word that could be considered worse than that other F word. We all draw like it's way out of fashion. Fear is what our demons thrive off of. They rely on fear to scare you into thinking that all this time you've spent on planet Earth is for nothing. Fear is what tells you that you're getting old, or you should be married by now, or you should have kids already, or you should already be making $10,000 a month. You should already be double-digit recruiting. You should already have the team like this. You should already be in the book. You should already be RVP, right? We compound all these things. In my life, fear used to be the steering wheel of my human body every day. Every decision was made based out of fear. It was like living in a horror movie constantly. What changed was when I discovered personal development and figured out what fear was. Just like our demons, defining fear is challenging because it exists without us knowing it a lot of the time. When I decided to step out of the darkness and forget about everything other than my vision for my life, fear stopped holding me back. When I physically felt fear in the form of sickness, nervousness, or a shaking hand, I reframed what it meant to me. So you reframe that. What John did with these guys on Wednesday, or whatever day that was, reframed that fear. It took it away. It didn't allow it out, right? It let them move beyond that fear that all of them had, like do, right? Of making calls. Because that's what it was. Wasn't that you couldn't make calls? You had success before. But it was that fear to do it. In the group, it took it away, right? It didn't take it completely away, but it replaced it with the competition, with the needing to be a part of the team, with the wanting to put numbers out. It replaced it. I decided to step out into the light and see what all my fears would really do to me. When you actually try and decipher what your fear is, you can't because it's not real. So it says a key action is start spending time every day noticing your fears. They're often disguised as indecision or nervousness around something. If you're constantly overthinking things, that's what fear's about. What I found useful is to write the experiences down. Once a week, read over them as you start to see your fear. It loses its grip on you. Every call you make, that fear gets less. But for years, I was terrified. I was scared to do a meeting. I never raised my hand. I went to a private school from grade 7 till 10. Really small private school, private Christian school. And when I left and went into high school in grade 11, where there was like 600 kids, man, I was scared. The day I graduated, the principal said, he said, I never thought you'd make it. He said, you were so scared when you came into our school. And I was, because the school I was in had like less than 40 kids, and I went to 600. Man, it was tough. But, so I never raised my hand in high school. No way, man, I knew the answers, but I wasn't raising my hand. I just did my stuff, right? I just went through it. So Primerica, where you talk and you do all this stuff, what? Really? Whoa, scary stuff. It gets better the more you do, right? Every one that you do, every appointment that you do, the next one's never as bad. Never as bad. You get better. We're just our own personal worst critics on the planet, right? We always think. The best thing that can happen to you is that a year from now someone says, oh, you're so different. Yes! Score! Right? Who wants to be the same? The same means all that self-improvement didn't work. Oh, those affirmations aren't working. No, you want to be different. Number 4 is sheer guts and hard work. Dealing with your demons and crushing them to pieces is hard work. That's why the majority of people never deal with them. Every time you attempt to conquer them, it's like running a marathon. It requires blood, sweat, and tears to distance yourself from them. As soon as something is hard, we don't necessarily give up, we do one better. We put off taking action to some point in the future. You don't have to raise your hands, but do a personal checkup, right, if that's happened to you. The future, remember what I said before about the future, some alternate universe where you live out a fantasy that will allow your demons to win. Dealing with them requires you to be bold and have courage. Like any battle, it requires time and emotional suffering. If you put in the hard work, though, you get all the benefits of a fearless life. A life in which you get to control what happens and ultimately have more time to yourself because you're present. All those people like Richard Branson, who you idolize, live from this place. Richard didn't get there by lying by the pool every day. He got there by taking a risk and working his ass off. It says if you read the 4 points again, they're all based on their way of thinking. The 4 points are there to get you to reframe your current perspective. The reason for this is that it's in your mind that you mostly defeat your demons, not in the physical world. Now that you know what they look like and how they manipulate your life and lie to you, what are you going to do? You need to realize you don't have to sit around any longer. You know the Financial Independence Council book? If you knew the people in there, honestly, if you knew them, so many of them, your belief would skyrocket. Right? It would skyrocket. Because you get to meet them and you go, hey, they're normal people, they're average people, they're people who do, like Jacques said, want you to win, who want you to get ahead, who have this belief in, and who give back, right? A part of winning, a part of becoming successful is always giving back from the great. You are in control, and all your greatness starts with a decision. You can't make everybody remember your name for the rest of eternity unless you go out there and give them a reason to. Some of you kids, some of you grandkids, but today's world is different. That new baby that you have, you know, I know you want your family name to be known forever. It's all choices, it's all options. That's what you get to do here. You can't make everybody remember your name for the rest of eternity unless you go out there and give them a reason to. Greatness can only stem from a place where all of your demons have been slayed and you're in control. Are you up for the challenge? I think that's one of the most, I've read that a few times since I found it. I think I got it from Addicted to Success. You are in control. This is your shot, just like it was everyone who's come before you, just like it was Jacques, Vandanas, Jesse, anybody who's doing anything, Dean, Dimitri. It's your shot. It's your shot, David, right? It's all in what we choose to do with it. Natalie, Renee, right? It's all in what you choose to do with it. Those videos you do, Nick, those are going to be classics one day. It's all in that. It's all in those choices. It's all in the moments. It's all in that moment where you know you should make that call, and you either put it off or you do it. You don't know. They could be the person that Dean mentioned that gets rated at 100% for insurance. That you hope you don't pay out that death claim on, but what if you have to? We paid out a death claim on Mike's ex-brother-in-law. Died at 48, 49. Had his policy for 19 years, bought that policy at 30. When we went to the funeral, you know, and I was thinking about that comment where they say you take the check. We took the check. And we helped his wife invest that money. And what we do, you know, I thought about that. He was on Mike's 25 name list. They bought that policy, didn't expect to use it, right? But life happens. What about the retirement side of things? What about the people whose lives are changed because they met you? What about the people that you give the opportunity to, right? My mom calls Brad the trailblazer for our family. You know, it really hit me when a few years ago at the convention before I got my ring, we were at a private reception at the Ritz in Atlanta, and I didn't have my ring then. And someone said to me, who was they knew me, I was competitive, but they said to me that I was the reason that my family didn't speak on stage at the convention. Oh no. Because I didn't have my ring. And I was like, oh man, let me tell you, that's a heavy moment to get. And so that next year, my dad had a heart attack. And, you know, after he'd had his heart attack, that was all I could think. I thought, I mean, he lived, but I thought, my dad was so proud of us kids. I used to take my dad on the company trips in the days before money. And so I'd take my dad on the company trip. And, you know, it was really cool to see your dad there. And he'd say, no, this is my... Well, after the first one, when I said, don't do that, I said, if you call me honey again, I said, I'm going to put dad on your name tag. I said, what do you want, sweetheart? I'm like, dad, this is my dad, people. They actually called me over and they said, I'm like, it's my dad. And so, my dad's awesome. But he'd say, no, that's my daughter, and there's my son at that table, there's my other son. What a great moment for our family. And so anyways, after this had happened, I was like, I need to get my ring, right? And I got my ring. I did a 90-day run, and I think we had to make 50 grand. And anyways, I made my ring. But I remember where I was in the office when Brad got a call from home office. And they said our family was going to be honored at the convention, and we were going to speak on stage. And they flew my parents in. They flew my parents in, and they flew in, you know, Brad's kids, and they flew in Troy's daughter, and his son and stuff. And I'm telling you, when I walked into that convention, when that moment happened, and I walked into the convention, because I got there really early that morning, we were speaking on a Saturday morning, and I got there really early because I wanted to get us seats. And so I was walking up the aisle, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they have our names on the seats. They had my parents' names. They had our whole row for our family. I can tell you in that moment when we walked out on stage, my parents were crying. And everybody knew who they were. And I thought, that was worth those dark houses. It was worth those calls. When people said no, it was worth those no's. It was worth it when you wrote a policy and someone didn't want it. It was worth all of those things to do that. To have that feeling in that moment. It really was. It was worth that. That my parents stood there and were so proud of us, and people would come up to them and say, you've got 3 kids who make a 6-figure income. Like, that is so awesome, because there were no other ones in the company. And so to be able to do that, man, yeah, that was worth it. But boy, I'll tell you, when I looked at that ring picture in my truck, I didn't feel it then. I did not feel it then. It seemed so far away, even though I could do a meeting and I'd sell other people on it, I'd go home in the darkness and go, oh my God, really? Right? Same thing for you. Confident. Confident. Go, fight. Make this last 10 days, 8 days count in the company. Make your mark. Set yourself up for the next 4 months for the 90-day run that you can do where you can be at wherever you want to be at. Let's have an awesome weekend. If you're coming to my house tonight for our papers, I'll see you there.
I told my mom when I was 16 years old, one day I'm going to be successful. One day I'm going to be successful, and one day I'm going to help a lot of people. I always say this, pay the price today so you can pay any price in the future. Pay the price now. Okay? Pay the price. My buddies were traveling, seeing the world, and I didn't have any of those experiences. I've had people tell me, hey, you market too much. You market too aggressively. Take me off your list. My office tells me we hit the list too much. I'm like, what's the list for? Hit the list. That's what it's for. There's 8 billion people on planet Earth. Look, I've been ridiculed by my peers, my customers, and by competition. I've been judged for working too much, wanting too much, being too colorful, being inappropriate, insensitive, and too out there. I'm trying to figure it out. I've been threatened, I've been sued, I've been betrayed by friends, I've been ripped off, and I've been dropped. 30 years, 18-hour days, not 8-hour days, not 10-hour days, not 12-hour days, 18-hour days. I've been married 15 years to Lena, not one time did she ever say, you work too much, not one time. She has never said to me, what are you doing getting home so late? She knows what I'm doing. I'm closing deals. I'm taking care of my family. I'm trying to get to 10X levels. It's been 30 years. 30 years. It's probably going to be 30 years for you too. Doubt, uncertainty, insecurities, rejection, disappointment, judgment. It's going to be 30 years of it. Are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to pay the price? If anybody thinks you're going to be successful without paying that price, you're wrong.
Let's go rock this I know. Bishop here. Yes, please. Alright, everybody, okay, so we're going to keep this short, we're going to keep this sweet, just like me. Okay, so, we got rock, we got a big speaker today. Okay, quick question, raise your hand if you have any points today. And very that's not a you can do it or you can do it? You guys got 2 appointments, Nick, you have? I'm booking. Okay, so you don't have points. Okay. Everyone who does not have appointments, we need to get on it, right? What was our goal for this, for 20 by 30? 30 by 20, right? We got 30 by $20,000 in premium. Does anyone know where we are right now? Brando, do you know where we are? Can someone please grab their POL and then let me know what we're at? Thank you. Okay. I think we're about 17 by 6. Okay, so guys, that means we're pushing the puck forward, but not high enough yet. Brandon, you have about $6,000 in premium coming in the next 7 days, correct, sir? Yes. Fantastic. So by the end of this week, with just what we have, from now, today's Saturday, next Saturday, we're going to have another $6,000 of business coming in. That means that we're going to be sitting at, now we have about, I believe we have 14 rips coming in. That's most currently right now. I think within the next 48 hours, we can double that.
We're at 18 by 6,000.
We're 18? Okay, so 18, fantastic. Okay, we're a little bit happy, right? So right now we have about 14 rips now booked from now to next Friday at least, right? I believe in the next 48 hours we can double that to about 30. Of course, about half of them shows up. We have about a 35 to 55% show rate depending on the time of the day, right? And of course, if we have 30 rips booked, that means that we do about 15, and of that we close about 8 IBAs. Okay, so we got 8 IBAs, 8 plus 18. Brand, help me out here, Sarah? 26. Okay. Right? So, that means that we need to be getting 4 more IBAs in, okay guys? We gotta grow our team, we gotta help more people out here. It's not about making more money, but reaching out to more people. Those who do 0 by 0 are what? Selfish. Alright? This is the best thing on the planet. This is the absolute best thing on the planet. Showing places where you can help more people and make more money, and I'll be right all over it. Okay? Do that. Okay guys, that means, again, I'm going to do this once again like every single time. We got 1, we got 2, we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.